Hi, everybody. I'd like to start my talk by saying life is a challenge and we must take it. It's a quote from Mother Teresa. As I'm going to start to tell you my story. I was born in Amman, brought up in Saudi Arabia for the first 10 years of my life, completed my studies in Jordan, my school, and then I completed my university studies. I studied architecture, and then I worked for a couple of years as an employee where I decided that I'd like to have my own firm. And I opened an architectural studio 1996. I'd like to tell you about my challenges. My challenges in life were both personal and professional. But who hasn't challenges in life? Challenges in my life made me move forward and never stop. Let me tell you why. I can name many, but I've selected only 3 to share with you today because they have helped me reach different milestones in my life. Each challenge taught me a lot, taught me a lesson, and the lessons learned are all that matters. And I'm going to start with my first challenge. My first challenge since I was in school, I was 16 years old and I was in my high school. And my first challenge was when my principal gave us our grade. I got the highest grade in my school. And I got my grade in front of all my classmates on a very small slip of paper telling me, please do more effort. You have the highest grade in school, but I don't think this is the best that you can do. She challenged me and she made me study more. And that I put into my mind that I have to excel. And I managed to push my mark 4 grades higher. And then I wanted to study architecture at the University of Jordan. And then I also struggled and competed with all Arab nationalities rather than Jordanians. And then I was accepted. But that was because I had a Lebanese nationality now then. Now I'm Jordanian and I'm proud of it. So I'd like to tell everybody about what the first challenge is, that you have never settled for how good you are. Always pursue how better you can be. And now I'm going to move to another challenge I passed through in my university life. It was in the 3rd year university. My dad suddenly lost all his work. He got sick, and I come from a family of 6 children, with me being the eldest. And I felt the responsibility fell on me. There was added pressure, but I had to overcome it. I had to prove to myself, and it gave me more motivation to excel more in my studies and to keep the pursuit of my architectural dream. And then I managed in the 4th year. I also did hard work, and it enables me also to excel and to do my training in Europe against all odds. And this broadened also my knowledge and my horizon. And then on this last year, and upon completing my graduation project, jury, I was offered a job by my supervisor at that time, directly after my jury, to start work before my graduation. And then I thought my career path started. And that is why I owe Dr. Talib, if you're watching, a big thank you. Thank you, Dr. Talib, for believing in me. I started working since I was 21 years old, and yet I wanted more. I was young at that time, and still I knew I had a long time to achieve my goals and my own practice. I got side jobs to polish my skill, and always believed that one day I'll open my own firm. Until I got it. I managed to work 2 other side jobs. I met a colleague where I did extra work, and then I still felt my journey is not yet there. Until one day, in the mid of 1996, a colleague asked me to join forces and to start an architecture practice. Okay, I was young, but I believed that my force, if I put it with his force, then I felt that my dream started becoming reality. I would also tell everybody that I would never forget that I was fortunate because I came from a family where my father, Rania Tarazi, Allah yarhamu, God bless his soul, he was very supportive and believed in me. He used to tell me, do whatever makes you happy and follow your passion. So I managed to get work in Jordan and in the West Bank. I was self-motivated, traveled a lot, and I always followed a quote a female architect used to tell me a long time, the more you see, the more you learn. So what I'd like to tell everybody that with the support of your family, always aspiring for more and an eagerness to keep learning is what makes a difference. And now I'd like to tell you about my third challenge. My third challenge was in 2002. I fell in a construction site and I got my head injured. And then I started tumbling and falling and I lost my balance. And then after lots of examinations and lots of visiting doctors and MRIs and CT scans, I found out that I have an autoimmune disease known as MS. I took it as a joke at the beginning, but my health started deteriorating. I used to work an hour each day in the morning, and then by time, it dropped into 30, and then into 15, and then to 10, and then it's less than 5, and I lost my balance. And after that, I stopped driving. I was unable to drive. And by time, I became independent. No, I became from independent to dependent, and it wasn't easy. And as my body started to become weaker, my drive just got stronger, sharper, and my dreams became bigger. And then I spoke to myself and said, don't stop and never stop. I put in my mindset that I will put my illness aside and I will continue my journey. So I'm telling this to everybody that it's not out of sadness or pity. On the contrary, I am where I am today because I believe that people can overcome their challenges. And then in 2012, I got the opportunity also to complete my work. We diversified my practice, and we joined forces, me and my sister, Rasha, and we opened Design Idea Studio. And then in 3 years' time, with 2 other partners, we managed to set a new dream together and put an international multidisciplinary design idea studio, where now we are located in Amman and Amsterdam. So I'd like to tell everybody that in every challenge comes a new journey and learning. And I'd like also to tell everybody who's hearing me talk, I go to my office every day. I supervise in construction sites. I exercise. I swim. I travel. I socialize. And I empower. Thank you. So I am alive, and I'm sure I live my life to the fullest, and this is what matters. And I believe that everybody can live their life to the fullest. And I believe that one day I will overcome my illness, and I strive to become stronger. I want to say this, that without the support of my family and those who have helped me, my colleagues, my friends, and everybody that is around me today, I won't have been where I am today. So never let challenges stop you. Thank you.